so slowly going back and forth like that until all of a sudden I just felt it stop and I popped out of my body. And the moment that I popped out of my body, I felt so free and so weightless. And I felt so amazing. And I knew I had died, and I didn't even want to look at my body. I wanted nothing to do with it. Um, my mind also felt completely different. I wasn't worried about anything. My emotions were completely different. I just felt a complete peace. And I knew exactly what to do since I had been out of my body so many times before. I knew to fly straight up. So that's what I did. I just started flying higher and faster. And after a little while, all of a sudden, everything went black just for a few seconds, but it wasn't scary at all. And then it lifted. And when it lifted, I was over this beautiful valley, and I saw mountains in the background. I saw flowers everywhere, and it was just so beautiful where I was. And I suddenly saw flying beside me to my right side this gigantic, hundreds of feet tall being, and he was made out of pitch black smoke. And I realized, though, that this was just a costume that he was wearing because underneath he was a unconditionally loving and light being, and he had the most beautiful white light and love energy just emitting from his eyes and his nose and his mouth and his ears. So that's how I knew he was wearing a black smoke costume. And he had these gigantic wings, and I understood that this was the actual angel of death. And everything had gone black for a few seconds because he needed to help me get to the right place of where I needed to go to transition on. So he had scooped me up in his giant wing to help me get to the right place. So I thanked him for helping me. And everything is telepathic in that realm. Just like my angel experiences in my youth, everything is always telepathic, and it feels just so wonderful and natural to do that. So I thanked him, and in return, he said, "We are pleased for you to be back home." And then I saw him fly to the side of a mountaintop, and he was just scanning everywhere and looked like he was watching over everyone who was transitioning on for that day. Then all of a sudden I saw the brightest white light that just shone down from above, and I just went into the light. And the moment that I did, I was just absolutely encompassed with unconditional love and light. And the light was an actual energy, and it just permeated throughout me. And it was unlike anything I've ever experienced in this lifetime before. There's just no comparison to it. It was so wonderful, and I just wanted to go up into that light. And I knew the light was coming from God, and I knew it was coming from a higher area of heaven. So as soon as I started to go up into the light, now a smaller light angel just joined me and went right above me to the light and greeted me, and had let me know that yes, it was my ideal time to transition on, and that I would soon be going further up along into heaven. I was very excited about this. But first, we had something to do. So he said, "Look," and he pointed like this to my left side. And I looked there, and there I had my entire life review. I relived my entire life over again in a matter of moments, but not only from my perspective, but from every single other person's perspective that I've ever interacted with in my entire life. So I got to see and feel the consequences on everyone and on myself of every word, action, and decision all of us ever made. So it gave me profound insight on seeing just how everything we do and say to each other absolutely affects us all, and then it ripples out into society and affects others from there. And I wasn't judged for anything at all, and I also wasn't commended for anything either. It all just felt completely accepted just as it was, which was beautiful to see. Although I also understood that there was just a slight highlight almost to any time I felt kind to anyone. So I understood that one of the only things that, or the only thing that really matters in life is just how kind we are to each other. I had also had almost 100 lifetimes before this current one, and I saw those underneath my current life I had just reviewed in a giant cyclone going down. And I was given the opportunity if I wanted to review all those previous lifetimes as well. But since I had already previously in my youth saw a few of them, I said, no, that's okay. I don't need to review those as well. So I chose to just keep going on up into the light. And I was following the angel now going up into it. And I wanted nothing more than to be going into that light further and higher up towards wherever it was originating from. However, at that point, there was something that caught my eye that I saw all the way to my right and down, and I looked at it. And the best I can explain is I saw multiple flashes of different visions of different things that were going to happen in the future to so many different people. Some I knew, many I didn't. And some things were positive, but many things were very sad that I saw. So it made me stop in my tracks, and I was just watching this, just feeling a lot of compassion and sadness for a lot of the things that I was seeing that were going to happen to some people. So the angel realized that I had stopped. So he stopped as well and turned around and was just, waiting patiently for me to process everything because I was supposed to keep going up. But instead, I looked at the angel and said, would all of these negative events still happen if I hadn't have died right now? And the angel said, what you see is simply the future that is currently set to be, yet any possible change could conceivably change what is yet to come. So I said, is it possible then for me to go back and attempt to stop some of these negative events from taking place? And the angel slowly said, we must warn you, there is a possibility you may not succeed in stopping any negative event or even change anything for their betterment, but we will leave the decision up to you if you want to return to Earth or not. So I told the angel, even knowing I may not be able to change anything, I at least have to try. So the angel seemed a little concerned at that point because I realized that this was what I had originally planned. I was supposed to come down into this life. I was supposed to pass away at that age, at 24. So this was my ideal exit point to transition on. And they had already shown me what my job was about to be. I was about to start in the afterlife, being a guide for some others. And I had also previously been shown by angels what my next life was going to be. I was supposed to next reincarnate into a female who was going to grow up in Spain. So I was going to be changing my entire timeline now if I was going to return back. However, I still was adamant that I wanted to come back for this reason. So since we have complete free will, I was allowed to do so. The angel said, okay. And with a wave of his arm, it seemed to have released me from the light that I was in. And I fell so fast and hard and crashed back into my body.